BMT in the building. I appreciate you, brother. I want to ask you this question because I asked him, and then we're going to go to Gregory, and hopefully Charles is back. I'm going to ask you two questions because we asked the other brothers so many questions. The first one is going to be: do you think that most men are looking for love when they get their passports?
I think it's the variation of love. Like the brother said earlier in the stream, you got men that are looking for like genuine relationships, but then you got men that's been in long-term relationships in America, maybe freshly divorced, and they going overseas to get it in. So you got, two types. I know guys, I've met guys in Medellin who say, look, Aaron, I was divorced. I was married for 20 years. I don't want to ever be married again. My kids are grown. I'm here just to have fun. Then I get guys who been married for 20 years and they get right back married when they get to Medellin. I'm like, damn, bro, you weren't even single for a whole year. Like, let's just have some fun.
But this is Medellin.
There you go. So it's different variations. It's really about what you're looking for as a man. The cool thing I love about overseas is it's like when you 40 in America, you're 40 in America. But when you 40 in Medellin and Brazil, it's like you're 25 again. Because you're dating women that's 25, 26, 27. They make you feel young, Like 40 is normal. When I was in Brazil one time and we was having a conversation with some Brazilian girls, and me and my boy, neither one of us had kids. And we was like, yeah, we're getting older, we need some kids. They was like, oh, you're 40, you're fine. It's no problem. You can have kids whenever. Don't even worry about that. But as versus in America, your family and your friends putting pressure on you to have kids. It's like, yo, you 40 years old, 35. You're not married with kids yet. So yeah, man.
BMT, I got a question for you off that. I got a question based on what you just said. I'm gonna ask you this. You say, the 40 is like making you feel like you're 25 when you're overseas. You moving. You I'm not gonna say you sticking and moving, but you know what I mean. You moving though. You moving around, right? You outside, right? So
right.
So tell me this though: if you ever go back to the States, a lot, and this is what happens for many people, and I will contest to it as a personal a person that has exhibited this type of action. Anytime I'm overseas, and yes, I am 44, so anytime I'm overseas, and I'm there for an extended period of time. When I get back to the States, there's like 5 things I don't do. I don't go to the clubs. I don't go to the bars.
Right.
People gravitate to me that are younger. And it's the aura that you put out, like that vibe that you send off. It's like you're not attracting those people. It's an energy that you had when you were overseas dealing with the younger crowd. When you get back, you still dealing with a younger crowd. And you like, shit, you look at your hands like, is it still me? Like Martin said in that one episode, I just want to see if I still got it. And you get back and you still got it. But what happens is, as you stay in the States longer and longer without having another trip overseas, your mind slows down and you start to go back into a complacent situation. Where now I'm dealing with these old, and you know what I'm saying? Everybody's, man, I ain't working out today. I'm gonna just sit around here like, bro.
You become jaded.
Yeah. So
you become jaded.
That's the reason why that's why, we got the people like Catch Flights and Not Feelings. Man, I'm getting on a plane as much as possible, as often as possible. Coronavirus, you got it, cool. If you don't, I don't care. I'm gonna sit over here with my mask on, and I'm getting on this plane, and I got to go somewhere. You know what I mean? Like that's just in my spirit. I have to do that to keep moving. If I'm gonna have to stay here in the States for X amount of time. So that was one thing that I picked up on something you said, and it jogged my memory. Like, bro, that's me. I'm dealing with 25, 26 here, and then I get back here and I'm dealing with 25. I'm like. But that wasn't me before I went, though. You know what I mean? So
your energy different, your pheromones different. You're attracted.
Come on now.
Plus, it's that culture that culture over there. They don't think of age as a big deal, as Americans do. What are you talking like? Maybe 5 to 10 years. If you ain't 5 to 10 years within my range, I ain't trying to, old man, or you too young or whatever.
Man, I'll be 55 this year. Andrea's got family members and their girlfriends, and I'm talking about serious girlfriends, beautiful women that are 23, 24. I'm talking about cook, clean. I'm talking about farm girls. When the dude sat back and said, I'm about to move, I'm about to get a farm. You with me or not? Baby, wherever you want. You want to move out the city and we go to a farm. I never lived on a farm, but let's go ahead and do it. And they got farmed, and we went out there and they got cows, chickens, dogs, 3 or 4 just acres of land, and
that's living.
Dude, I'm not talking about, she is happy as she can be. We come through, she feel like the host. And we're talking about somebody that's 23, 24 years old, feel like the hostess. Let me show you this. Let me cook you that. Let me show you around here. And there is no way it is rare. Let's put it like this. Very rare that you will find a woman in the States that is 23 years old and feel like a hostess. And if you sat back and said, we met in the city, but I'm moving to the farm, you with me or not? And I'm talking about this. This is not the only incident. There are others.
The only one I can remember is Selena. Remember in the movie Selena, when she was she was like, I have a farm with chickens and goats and bears.
Man, it is so true. It's kind of funny, man. Andrea's dad did not discover my age until 2 years ago, like a year and a half ago, when I got my cellular.
And you should have had your line ready. Black don't crack. You got to give him that black don't crack in Spanish.
He said it. He literally said it because they said here in Colombia, black don't crack.
Oh, okay.
So I had got my second. Notice I said this. My second approved visa, right? This year I'll be approved for my citizenship.
Hey, Felicity, you gonna take pictures of all that shit?
I know, right? It's
video record that, man. That's big.
I know, right? And so I'm like, I got my driver's license, got my cellular, got my citizenship. Okay, I'm gonna be all right. So when we go to Europe, we good because we want the kids to have three passports. So we want the kids, when we move to Europe, whatever country we're in Europe, the American, where I talked to our lawyer about if our kids are born in Europe, do they get the U.S. passport? And they told us it's easy step, blah, blah, blah. So our kids will be born when we're in Europe with 3 passports. And so, so I got my visa, and we excited, so we send a picture out to everybody in the family, and oh yeah, that's good. And Andrea's dad's like, wait a minute, Andre was born in '67. Wait a minute, I'm 57 years old. Andre only 2 years younger than me. What the? And Andre's mom was like, how old did you think Andre was? He already told you this. And he was so busy focusing on, I'm losing my baby girl.
Yeah.
That he didn't think about the fact that, okay, Andre is just 2 years younger than you.
He's my little brother.
Right. And so he was like, man, black don't crack. He was like, Andre looked like he's in his 40s. And so he was like, okay, cool. As long as he's taking care of my daughter and treating her good. And that's how my point in saying that story is, BMT and all you other brothers can attest that when we treat these women in other countries respectfully with provision and protection, their families are like, as long as you're doing the right thing, we don't care if you're 80. We don't care if somebody asked Andrea that question on her live stream a couple weeks ago. They were like, Andrea, two questions that they asked. The first thing they was like, or Andrea, how does your family feel about Andre being, you're 27, he's going to be 55? And
that's a straight hang up in the United States, man. That's the biggest hang up in the United States.
Yeah,
it's straight up the biggest thing, because if you think about it, there are a few brothers that are very respectful of women, even in the United States. And
right.
But those are the ones that they're losing, are those respectful gentlemen. and they're moving into these international waters with women. And now that's a big loss, because now you got his homeboy that won't doing his homework in school. Now he working the auto bail all day. You know, it's those type of dudes, and the dude that then he get off there, he work at the Waffle House. I mean, but he got a job. No disrespect, but he also pushing weight at the same time. So now they dealing. Hey man, this is real life shit. Like, this is going down. Like, I see this, and I'm like, you know, bro got 3 kids. I mean, you know, he can't see but one. I mean, it's drama. And so, but you got, you know, gentlemen that have never had kids. They're 40 plus, you know, and they're going overseas. That's a big loss. That's a big loss for not only the black community,
it is.
but black women in general.
That's a good point. That's a very good point.
Yeah,
that is a very good point. So, with that, can I piggyback on that? And I got it's a question. So, if that's the case, do you see the black man coming back and living in America with the persons that they see? You know, it's like, I don't see it. I don't, you know what I mean? Because if you say that America's going to lose them, so are they going to come back?
Ah man, like the great black savior. It's
you mean hold on? You mean come back and like
live
American women?
Right. Like live, because when people see the world, it's like, why would I want to come back? But then I'm just thinking that, in advance, like, okay, so if all these black men are leaving, I mean, you know, there are be some that are quality that stay here. Yeah. But the ones that go, they're gone.
Man, let me tell you a story. So
now their kids might come back.
Right.
They're going mentally and physically. Even if you go back to the States, your mental is foreign now.
Right.
You're like, well, I'm not going to deal with this when I'll be in Colombia in 2 weeks.
Man, I'm gonna tell you, growing up as a kid, I'm gonna tell you what, that same scenario you talking about was Color Purple for me. Like when Whoopi Goldberg's sister came back from Africa and they let the big ass lavender flowing billows out there in the field.
In the field, yeah.
And I'm like, this what it feel like to get back, you know, to come back before, you know, from Africa.
Free.
You know,
free.
I need to go to Africa. You know that it was like, you ain't getting that. Not when I ride down the dirt road of my grandma's house. You know, all you get is dust clouds and, you know, bumps and shit. They getting out the car or coming to America. Like, I'm seeing that. I'm like, bro, this is, why don't we have this in the United States? And I'm like, we supposed to be like the best country. But then you find out the backstories, you know what I'm saying? You're like, bro.
Then you grow up. You grow
up. And then a movie like, you know, Belly comes out in 1999. And, you know, you got Nas talking about, yo, I just want to go back to Africa, Tiana. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, what? Here he go. You know, like, it's generation. It was decade after decade. Somebody was saying, yo, we're going to Africa. And, like, it was subliminal.
Yeah.
True.
Subliminal.
Yeah.
And it didn't necessarily have to be Africa.
No,
that's true. Get away from the United States.
True.
Just a better place. Just a better place.
I realize it now, but if you think about it, if you were alive to watch all of those movies, how many of us up here were alive when every single movie that I mentioned was out? And it's like, you know, some people in Colombia, you got men in Brazil now. So you did get out. You know what I mean? So we got to think about how those movies were helping us transition through life.
Right.
And when you go back, you like, I can't be here, bro. You know. So.
Let me ask BMT a question in regards to. I got two for you, BMT, because I didn't get a chance to answer the second question, and I know that Greg didn't get a chance to answer the one about love. Do you think that most men are looking for love? I know Greg didn't have a chance to.
Yeah, I did.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
thank you, brother. BMT, going back to this, and even Greg, and the reason why I'm kind of like skipping you down on this one, because you've been around the world and from you know, from 8 to 80. So this question,
you know that you gotta say that when you see that part.
Right. So
at least Ron's that.
BMT, going back, correct, right, Greg? But BMT, going back to the States for your first or second or third time, did you have an aha moment of, because I did, that this is not my United States anymore. I love the United States, but it's no longer my United States.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, most definitely, man. You know, I always felt like I'm part of the Black community, but I just didn't want to date within the Black community. You know, so I always wanted some type of ownership. You know, I do believe in the Black community and coming up as a group of people. But at the same time, the dating options and the way they look at older men, in some cases, not all, but in some cases, the way they look at your value, the way it's determined is just backwards. You know, it's so backwards. And I tried to date women like my own age. I tried to date a woman that was like 38. Her vibe and energy was just so. She had already raised kids, so her whole mentality is different than the guy who hasn't, raised children at this point. Correct. So yeah, man, I just felt like, you know, it's going to take a lot. It's going to take a lot of changes, a lot of policy changes, a lot of family changes, you know, for Black men to, you know, really invest, especially Black men with passports, to really sit there and invest back, you know, into the Black community like that.
It would be very hard. Yeah,
it's going to be very difficult because it's all about value at the end of the day. These women overseas see your value more. You know, your value higher. You're a man.
Was that 38-year-old young lady trying to have more kids after she raised all those?
No, of course not. Of course not. Of course not, bro. She had like a grown ass son, dog. You know what I'm saying? Like, me and him talking about sports and playing video games. Grown ass man now.
Man, I'm gonna tell you, it's wild out here because you can see women with grown kids, and they'll be 38.
Yeah,
and you know, because nowadays people are having kids at 45, 46. She'll be 38 and she'll drop another kid, man. That 22-year-old got a 2-year-old brother. You know, but they got to be in the mindset. They got to still be in the mindset to do that. They done raised 2 kids. You know, ain't nobody. A lot of them ain't trying to do that. So I just want to see.
I haven't been to Atlanta in about 2 years, man. But my boy, he was living in Colombia. He had to go back to Atlanta. He was like, man, Atlanta's so crazy. You'll see the grandmama, the mama, and the great grandmama in the club nowadays. You know, none of them have learned.
Who's leading who?
The youngest one, possibly. You know,
blind leading the blind, blind leading the blind.
Probably. The second question I have for you, BMT, is this one. Why should foreign women settle down? And when I say settle down, I mean just boyfriend, girlfriend, or just travel. Like she said, listen, I'm gonna hold this coochie for you when you come to town. Why should she do that? Or in serious relationships, why should she do that with a foreign man? Outside of, because we already know it's a given, opportunity of finances or privilege or protection.
Man, let me tell you, bro. It's funny you say that because I was hanging with a couple of African American girls from the States when I was down in Brazil. We all hang out sometimes. And one of the girls looked at me. She was just like, "Yeah, Aaron, you cool, but I don't date African American men." And I'm like, "Really?" You know? And she was like, "Yeah, y'all, this, that, and the other." And I said, believe it or not, Western Black men, Western men in general, we're the most laid back, cooperative, nice guys in the world in comparison to some of these guys in these foreign countries. Correct. Right? Some of these guys in these foreign countries, like I was telling them ladies, they don't play the bar at all. At all with y'all ladies. They, not all, and I'm not, trying to, pigeonhole my foreign brothers, but they play the game by a certain way. I'll give you a perfect example. I was in the favela one time, and a chick, in the favela, she comes in with some shopping bags, right? One of my boys, he lives in the favela. He took one of the girls shopping. One of the favela girls shopping. The Brazilian dudes had a big issue with that, bro. All right, they were cracking on him. Like, why would you do that? Like, why would you take her shopping? You know what I'm saying? Like, you breaking the code here, bro. You don't take these girls shopping, nothing like that. My boy was like, oh man, it wasn't like it's 6 Fifth Avenue or nothing. It's just a little dress or two. So the favela girl, she goes in the room, she gets dressed, she starts modeling the clothes for the other favela girls. Now the Brazilian guys are really heated.
Thank you.
They just like, yo, what you did?
He broke code.
Yeah, he broke the code.
Right.
And he's like,
they want to go out there.
So this how I pulled it, Andre. I was like, yo, he ain't from America. He's from the UK or something. We don't even get down like that in America, dog. I'm telling the favela guys this. They looking at me. They looking at me like, answer for your man right here. What's your man doing right here, Bonnie? And I'm like, yo, he's from the UK. I don't know what's going on. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, yeah, man, like we generally, you know, give women a say. You know, we don't mind our women having jobs, getting educations. You know what I'm saying? They want to be entrepreneurs. You guys, some of these guys in these foreign countries, they don't want none of that. They want a woman that cook, clean, and shut the hell up. Period.
Yeah.
And go and look good while you doing it.
Yeah, that's kind of what. That's kind of like. Yeah, that's kind of what I was trying to say. You know, they'll put hands on them in a heartbeat if they mouth off.
Oh, no doubt.
But then they might get some hot grease a little bit later. But you know,
it's all part of the makeup, and it's kind of funny that he would BMT would say that, because at the end of the day, I remember I was in a club in Colombia. I mean, in Tampa, and Tampa has a huge Colombian population. And so I'm in the Colombia Salsa Club, right? And my boy, man, this dude he pulling 12s all day long. And I'm like, and I'm talking about in the States, because you know, when they in the States, they think they miss it. And he pulling 12s that's making 7 figures. And I'm like, how are you pulling these women? He said, Dre, you want to know my secret? He said, you got to always treat Colombian women like they shit. And I'm like, you lying. He said, Dre, I'm telling you. He said, if you treat them like you got any, he said, if they look in your eyes and they can see any weakness of, like, they got their looks give them authority, he said, that's when you lose. He said, you got to walk up on them like, you ain't got to call them a B or anything or disrespect them, but you got to walk up on them with the eyes of,
you look all right.
Yeah, you ain't that fine. You more funny than fine.
But she look better than you over there, though.
Yeah. Yeah. And he said, man, they will drop their panties every time. And dude, I followed that dude principles. Man, I'm running through Colombia. I think you know what? I think that's why it's so easy for me to be in Colombia and like, because I was running through so many Colombians while I was in Tampa, because the community is so large in Tampa. Like Brazil is Orlando. Brazil and Puerto Rico is Orlando. You know, Cuba is Miami, but Tampa is Colombia.
Yeah, because there's the shark. What is it? The blue shark or the blue something other? It's the blue fin. I don't know. It's like a salsa club at night. It's out by a mall.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Yeah. Right off the Armenia area.
That's man. I go down to Tampa, like Brandon, Florida. I'm like, man, I ain't got to go to Colombia. I'm Brandon. Yeah, that's where my homeboy lives at now. So
yeah, you don't. You go to Tampa. A lot of people don't know this. If you go to Tampa, you do not have to go to Colombia. It is humongous Colombian population. I'm talking about clubs, concerts, parties, events, a Colombian celebration every year. Every year there's a humongous, bring your jersey, everything, Colombian celebration right across the street from the football stadium, the Bucks Stadium. Is a gigantic Colombian celebration. You are 100% correct.
Oh man, it's gonna be good times then. Good time.
Yeah,
but I'm trying to bypass that. I've been trying to get these dates out of you for for Petronio Alvarez for like
you
7
know
months
what?
since December.
You know what?
Well, you got him on the line.
Because
That- man, that's why I dialed in tonight. I'm gonna get
away this time.
I'm gonna get this mom an answer, cuz. Run the dates, cuz.
right now.
Man, call the Chamber of Commerce or something tomorrow for me. See what y'all can do.
I got you, because I want to put that in the next video that we do on Sunday.
Yeah, because I definitely missed the one in December, but I saw the footage that you had, and I'm by trade I was a Latin American studies major, and so I did a lot of my concentration was in Afro, Brazilian, Afro, Caribbean, and Afro South American history. And so when I saw that, I was like, bro, I must have missed that class. I definitely don't know about this damn festival. So that's why I was like, bro, I got to be, Jacques Cousteau go find out about this.